Have you moved cities for work? How about getting to vote in your home constituency during elections without having to travel all the way back home? What if a polling booth is set up near you with a customized EVM for elections back home? The Election Commission of India wants to do just that. Yay! But before one begins to cheer this interesting attempt by the poll body, like many on social media have in the past few days, it's necessary to zoom into the fine print of the proposed process to realize how the idea might be good only on paper so far. The Election Commission on the 16th of January held a session with political parties in Delhi where it demonstrated the remote voting system that can help domestic migrants to vote for elections in their home constituencies remotely. In a country like India, domestic migration is a common phenomenon, especially from the rural to urban belts because of padhai, naukri, shadi, etc. Now, most migrants, as we know, do not wish to change their voting constituencies due to multiple reasons. As a result, millions end up not voting when polls are conducted in their home states. According to the Election Commission, the number of eligible voters who don't end up voting is at 30 crore. But as good as the idea of remote voting sounds, it's going to be extremely difficult to implement. To understand why, here's a quick overview of what the Election Commission has come up with. Pre-register with your home constituency as a remote voter after your verification by officials. A remote voting booth will be set up for you. At this remote voting booth, there will be a remote EVM or the RVM as the EC calls it, which is basically a modified or a customized version of the existing EVMs. Each RVM can register votes for up to 72 constituencies. Each remote voter will have a constituency card which will be scanned using a constituency card reader or the CCR. After the CCR scans the card, all the contestants from that particular constituency will be displayed, following which the voter casts their vote. There will also be a remote VVPAT or an RVVPAT for verification. After the polling day is over, the results for each remote constituency will be sent to the respective returning officers by the Election Commission officials. So, the process is set on paper. But firstly, who is a domestic migrant? The Election Commission has said in its concept note, and I quote, "Domestic migrant or internal migrant does not form a uniquely identifiable and countable class in the existing norms and standard definition. There is no central database available for migration within the country for the purpose as required for the matter under discussion. The Registrar General of India, the Ministry of Labour and Employment and the National Sample Survey Organisation laid different meanings to the term migrant." So now the EC is first going to have to sort out several aspects such as who or which ministry or body identifies and enumerates domestic migrants. What should be the duration of being away from the home constituency to qualify as a domestic migrant? What will be acceptable reasons for absence on poll day, or basically the purpose behind the migration, like education, profession, marriage, etc. On what factors will the voter's original registration at the home constituency be retained? Will they have to register separately for a state election and the Lok Sabha election? Etc. etc. Next, how will implementation of MCC be ensured? The EC is yet to specify remoteness. Will the remoteness be decided according to relocation to another constituency, district or state? The EC has claimed that 85% of domestic migrants migrate within the state. So, if there is a statewide assembly election, the Model Code of Conduct or the MCC will be in force automatically. But consider the following scenario. If there is a by-poll in a constituency in Mumbai for a registered voter, say voter X, and X has moved to Pune for professional purposes, the MCC is only applicable in the constituency in Mumbai. If X registers themselves as a remote voter, how will the Election Commission ensure no violation of MCC in their constituency in Pune? Next, how will the remote polling booths be set up? The criteria to set up a remote polling booth and their structure is yet unclear. The EC is still deliberating on several aspects. Minimum number of remote voters necessary for a remote polling booth to be set up in a remote territory or region, the number of multi-constituency remote EVMs to be set there, assigning polling agents for the remote booths, booth representatives of parties of the state where elections are taking place, the number of booths to be set up in any given state. So, why can't the existing remote voting techniques be applied? The Election Commission said that before floating the RVM pitch, it did consider other remote voting options like internet voting, proxy voting, early voting, and postal ballot. The EC formed a committee in 2016 to look at the issues of migrant voters, a report on which was submitted in November that year. In the report, while various solutions for the migrant voters were considered, the committee, however, did not recommend any of these methods for various reasons, the Election Commission said. The Election Commission, however, has given no clarification of the said reasons behind not exploring the expansion of any of these facilities. Moreover, with the RVM, the EC has not yet detailed how foolproof are the new technological changes. Clearly, there are challenges at every step of the process: technical, administrative, and constitutional. Considering the number of challenges that the Election Commission itself has listed out and the subsequent ones that shall arise in the processes to come, the proposal is clearly at a nascent stage. After mapping these challenges across several processes, the EC will have to establish a timeline to overcome those challenges to achieve the desired output, which is an uncompromised vote. So, is the Election Commission's motive good? Yes, but has the EC cracked the code to remote voting yet? Maybe not.